Hey everyone, welcome to another tutorial. Today I want to show you how to make more creative rhythm. I think there is a particular problem in the rhythm industry. Many artists use the same sounds without any differences, the same rhythms without any changes, and this is why it kinda became boring and kinda sounds like it's not developing any further. And I think this is why there are two things which need to be improved. One's the sound design, and on the other hand, the rhythm. Most rhythm just uses quarter notes, and quarter notes in general are really boring on their own if you don't do any changes to them or combine them in a cool way. And this is why I've made a song which is supposed to be rhythm inspired. I wouldn't call this entirely rhythm. It also has some tearout influences, but rhythm can definitely learn from tearout in my opinion. And this is why I tried to combine rhythm and tearout in this little work in progress I made. Let me play it first and then I will break it down. This is the current state of this little song I've made. And let's start with the sound design first. It's really important nowadays to stick out with a special sound design approach. And this is why I always do some sound design sessions from time to time. Sometimes I reuse sound design sessions for projects. Sometimes I just do them for the projects. And yeah, in the end, I will come back again to them and reuse them in other contexts too. I can't remember or I can't show you how I made it from scratch right now. I just combined a bunch of random plugins and processing techniques, which you can revisit in one of the live streams I did. I made this project on live stream, so you can just search it and see how I did the sound design. I think I've used the hyperchorus track from riot and also combined it with some other stuff. I think I've also used the spec-comms plugin by Unfiltered Audio and some other stuff. And then I usually try to get the sound design into a cool pattern. In this case, I've just resampled a lot and came up with this idea, which contains this sound, which is really noisy, and this more spectrally plucky sound, and this fast one, which was basically my first impulse to this idea. Of course, we have a sub, which isn't doing anything special yet in this case. And then I usually try to do a nice call and response pattern. In this case, we have this sound, which I made from scratch in Serum. It's basically sine wave, which is doing the lasery transient work in this case, and also this sound. I just came up with this, by accident, I would say. Some distortion, compression, hyperdimension, pretty simple stuff actually. Some EQing, OTT, and then some reverb and further EQing and some erosion. In the end, I ran it through plug data. Compress it in a tight way. And we have the downbeat with a growl film. And then the rhythm kicks in, which is reusing the idea from the build-up kind of thing. But also, now I introduce some more sounds to make it more interesting. And I'm not doing everything every bar or every quarter note in this case. I'm not doing bum, bum, bum. I'm doing one, and then a different sound on the 2, and a different one on the 3 and on the 4 and so on. So there's always something to be changed if you get my idea. And for example, I just resampled a sound a few times, I think. You can see the processing chain here. I can't remember what it was doing. I used the filter table as well. Filter table is great for getting nice variations. I think I've made this spectrally sounding sound out of it, which is this one, I guess. Okay, this is actually another idea. but there's one cool sound, I think, which is doing the spectral stuff. Yeah, this one is a spectral kind of sound. Oh yeah, it's in the sample category. I completely forgot. Now, these are actually from a different song, which already had the spectral characteristics to them, and also this little, yeah, noise loop for the background. And this is basically doing the tonal work here. Just a spectrally filtered sound with some frequency shifting to get a cool variation. And I'm also changing the frequency on this sound. So also got a melody going on, which isn't a melody, it's rather a bass progression. And yeah, that's basically the idea of the sound design. Of course, I implement variations from time to time. Other fills. I think this sound is pretty interesting. This is also doing the metallic work, which also relies on the filter table. Without filter table and with filter table. Drastic difference. And this is also introducing another level of heaviness and yeah, getting the song to a straightforward feel. And you see, this looks like quarter notes. But now we come to the second idea, which is the rhythm. And in this case, I could have just done this, what I did in a later variation, I think here. Just quarter notes, but I actually did it just as a fill for the main element. I just used this rhythmical pattern, which is way more interesting and way more effective, I think so, than just quarter notes. And it doesn't sound that boring. Also, it's important to play around with different note values. For example, we have 16th notes here. Then we have a dotted 8th note here, combined with just a 16th. And then the quarter notes. But together, they form a really interesting soundscape in this case. And this is working out really well. And of course, yeah, I've also used some samples, like some cool vocal samples I found the other day, like this cashmere sounds and some effects. At the end. And some more layers, some samples I shot before. This one as a supportive layer, which I found would layer up nicely with the sound I made myself. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Have a great day. Goodbye.